Hey there. Good morning, afternoon, evening. Welcome to 50 Questions Friday for November 14th, 2025. Good to see you all here this morning. Let me center up my camera. Take some deep breaths and step into presence. So, if you'd like to take a deep breath with me in this beautiful sacred space, which is 50 Questions Friday. And just be in that space of allowing in all that you are without judgment or reservation. Because when you consciously see some of those parts of you that you don't want to see, things shift and change. They're no longer haunting you. So open up to all that you are. Hey, John from Minnesota. Glad you're here this morning. Hey, Heather. Good to see you here. Hey, Malik. Good morning. So, gosh, I wanted to give my apologies for last week. I talked about these grand Trinity rings we were going to make. Not happening. So, my sincere apologies to any of you who messaged asking about that set of rings, the Triquatra set. It's not going to happen in the 26-inch practitioner rings. It's just too much for. It's too much. There's just certain things that, it's tougher to juggle through here. I know I felt really bad for Mike. I made my set of 3 rings. There's something else, but him trying to grind and polish and clean up all these parts and pieces while juggling 3 intertwined rings is not a chore that I wish to bestow upon him. So until I make time to clean big rings, which isn't going to happen until I get another employee here, we're not going to be making that Trinity set of practitioner rings. But anyway. Hey, William, good to see you here. And good morning, LS5. Hey, Renard, good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. Always appreciate you showing up here. Hey, Tim from Michigan. Glad you're here today. So yeah, the 26-inch Triquatra practitioner ring is not happening at the moment. We made a set of 2 sets of 3 26-inch lighter gauge practitioner rings, which I'll end up listing here at some point in time. So you can still work with those 26-inch rings. Like I say, we have 2 sets of 3 that I'll make available here at some time, but they're not intertwined. But you can still get all the goodie out of them. So, gosh, I guess maybe we'll jump into some things here. Hey, good morning, Mark. Maybe we'll jump into some things here before we take questions. So I finally was able to sit down with Brenda to do some readings on the energetics because, we still haven't had any good write-ups on the energetics. And I tell you, when you truly sit and feel into these new fields, it is something pretty amazing. Let's see. So for the light field, the one new energy, this new light field. So when Brenda went to do her reading on it, it would just take her into a profound space of peace. And me too. I mean, when we do the readings together and we feel in, as Yeshua said, you get 2 or more people together. And, I always like to look at things with 2 people, 2 or 3 people, just because it helps you to see more of what is there, and you get a better sense that no, I'm just not in my mind with this, that this is, you know, in alignment with something true and real. But so sitting with Brenda and just feeling into that light field energetic. Um, one of the things that Brenda says, and that she said it before, and I need to totally reiterate it, is that make sure you're in the heart to get the full effects of these fields. So be in your heart to feel into them. This light field connects into your light within the sacred heart. It expands heart energy out around you, and so much peace, it's hard to find the words for it. And I agree. I couldn't even ask Brenna the questions, truly feeling into this new light field energetic. Brings you back to you. From that space, the questions are asked and answers come into the heart. So it's the way that you can traverse your day, make your decisions, is to be in that field. And again, when you're in that space of peace, usually you don't even have questions or concerns, because everything is, from that higher perspective, everything is absolutely perfect. But yet also from that higher perspective, it begins to harmonize the things that you feel are not perfect. So it's two things happen there at once. When you step into that space, you step above everything. And when you're looking at everything, it changes everything. I just implore you to experience it. It's just really experiencing this whole concept. And then you'll know. So here's one that kind of blew me away on the new wisdom, that new light. I gotta solidify a name. Coherence. Yeah, that is the word. Heather, coherence for sure. Realizing truly I am that I am. John, waiting for the master's wand. Hope it gets here before I leave Monday. Oh man, I do too. I intend it does, because man, that master's wand is amazing. The new energetics are liberating, which is an understatement. Opening the heart space. Coherence. Yeah, it is something else when you truly feel into it. So this is the one that really blows me away, is the new wisdom. So versus the light field, which was just such deep, profound peace. When you feel into the new wisdom, it's still peace, but it's a lighter peace. It's not that deep, profound, taking you out of the mind peace. But it's a light peace. From your heart center, you can connect with your wisdom. Now, we've discussed wisdom for years here. The wisdom you carry within you. Expand your wisdom into all of creation. And it is like a download of your wisdom. That's what Brenna kept getting, was like downloads. And that's how she could explain it as, is downloads of her wisdom, of everything in completion, of those traumas, those experiences, those lifetimes, where your light has already distilled the light and wisdom from those experiences and traumas. That leads to the healing, the clearing, the integration. And so when you're working within the wisdom field, it is showing you in your completeness. In your completeness. So you get a download of all your wisdom, all complete experiences and lifetimes. Now, here's the kicker of this. So when Brenda was playing with this wisdom, she felt it change her heart. That's a big feat for Brenda. But she couldn't find her heart after this. So she had to sit for like almost a minute to find her heart after fully immersing into the wisdom field. It didn't move, but it changed frequencies. It was not in the same frequency dimension, however you want to word it, as it was. It shifted. So it's a permanent shift too. It shifted her heart into a higher octave. So yeah, that is huge too. For whatever it means something. It means different perceptions, different realities, different everything. Now, the golden light was another one. The golden light, by this time that we had been diving into these other fields, we were pretty out there. But the golden light, the updated golden fire, a calmness. And that's the way I would describe that golden light too. It's calm. The golden light flows through the cells. That's what I was seeing too, was that it is working more in the physical realm, the electromagnetic light spectrum realm. Has anyone lost sound? I think it looks like our sound is still flowing. Leet, I cannot wait till I get my master's wand. I know, yay, yours should be arriving anytime too. In the past, and this is just a comment here from John, and thank you all for your comments and questions. In the past, we used the Trinity breath to get into the heart. How best to get into the heart space? So yeah, because before, the Trinity breath, we always grounded our light, our heart with the heart of the earth, the heart of creation, all that you are. You bring them together in that Trinity. And anymore, it is just truly grounding your consciousness into the heart. And so it is simply, again, that the breath, but you're breathing in all that you are. So I mean, it's different than the feet in the earth grounding. It is the grounding in of all that you are. So it is different. And still follow what it is that you feel, and you'll know it because you'll be in the heart space. You'll know what is right. But again, truly what we see as, I don't do the Trinity breath anymore. I just simply take a breath. I will make some remembering statements to myself, like the I am that I am, I exist. But to me, when I say I exist, that reminder is that it is all that I am, that everything is my energy, that it is there serving me always, no matter what it looks like. It is always there serving you. And just knowing that you are the great I am, you are all. And so when you step into that space and you just simply say, I exist, that has been the trigger for me and for many. This is part of, classes we're doing with Dama St. Germain and the Crimson Circle. And it's just making that statement, I exist, and it brings you back to center. It pulls all of your energy out of all the entanglements. It pulls your awareness out of all the entanglements, and it just brings you back to you. As we're talking here, Okay, so I'm going to actually just jump right into what this Trinity set, the three energetics together, beyond where we have been as a human. Within that connection, you are connected fully to all that you are, beyond time and space, at the space of deep peace and knowingness. And that is what happens when at these fields, the three fields together, is it is a simple way to get to that point of I exist. And then when you do, everything changes. Um, so yeah, the I exist is kind of the new way of going into the heart space, because the heart space, brings you into the present moment, which is still mental and linear and all the things, where presence is the bigger picture of I am here now with all that I am, with my presence, with my light, with my wisdom of the lifetimes. And that's where that knowingness is in the field. That's what helps to pull you out of all the entanglements in the deep recesses where your awareness might be, and brings you back to center. And then from that point, you can re-choose what it is that you're going to entangle with. So anyway, that's what these fields are helping us to find, the new fields, whether it's the light field with that deep peace, the wisdom with its peace in you and completion, the golden light working throughout your entire physical realm, and then just bringing it all together into I am presence. And man, is it life-changing and world. Anyway, I will step off of that little platform of chat right now, but it is so profound, you guys. It truly is. This is it's the simplicity of all of the steps we've been doing and traversing all these years. It is the simplicity, the completion of it all. I mean, you step right into the space of everything we were trying to achieve and accomplish and to be throughout all these years of these different energies and techniques and activations, attunements, meditations, clearing. That's a big thing, because if you can step into a space where everything is already cleared and you can allow that to be, that is the space that you live within. So anyway, hey, Paulo from Portugal. Glad you're here today. Hey, we just got one of your orders sent out yesterday. I'm working on your mini rainmaker here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Scotland Yard. When I stood on the floor plate with the master wand, my highest self came into the vortex of my heart and cleaned and cleared out all the old versions of self that no longer serve me. I witnessed it. It was pretty flippin' amazing, the work that Heather did. I exist in sovereign solidarity, fully present. Indeed. Yeah, it changes perspectives, which changes the world. Love and light from Slovenia. Good to have you here. Can you talk about how the smart meter electrical clearing device, how many would the average home need? Is there a similar device for cars, since new cars have so much tech and electrical monitoring? So yes, the smart meter electrical clearing disc, it's simply one that you can it comes with a sticky back that you can stick onto the electrical panel or plug into any outlet. Now, the electrical clearing disc utilizes the consciousness of electricity of the copper, of the earth elementals, and the tensor field. And it is when you plug this disc into an outlet, let's say, so an outlet has about an 18-inch electromagnetic field from your household current. So as you bring something within that field, this disc, it will connect into and flow both up and down the stream of the electrical current. So it will harmonize the electrical panel, which has about a 5.5 to 6 foot, really discordant electromagnetic field there. It's a potent field. So if you're not able to stand fully grounded, centered in presence in your light, and you stand within that field, it can knock you off kilter a little bit. So if when you plug in that electrical disc anywhere in your household, it goes to that electrical panel. It harmonizes that field, so that field is no longer causing you to be off balance, detrimental in any way. Then it also works with your smart meter, which all electrical meters are about they're simply the same field as your electrical panel. It's just this big 5.5 to 6 foot field that extends out from that meter. Now, the smart meter carries a Wi-Fi transmission, and with that, it's also, it's kind of that it acts as a carrier wave for a lot of that discordant energy that comes from that electrical. But when you have that plug-in disc, then it also takes that meter and the Wi-Fi transmissions from it, harmonizes it so that it is no longer detrimental to the human, plants, animals, water, the earth. Um, and one of the professional dowsers that first started working with this, she has a video up, I believe, on our YouTube from Golden Light Dowsing. No, that wasn't the dowsing. It was another one of her dowser friends, but a professional dowser who did a video that shows that she doused a few houses in the area or businesses, and they all had negative thousands near their electrical meter on her dowsing scale. And then on the transformer, she placed a ring, and it changed the output of the electrical meters in every place that was connected to that transformer, and it changed it to the positive hundreds on her dowsing scale for beneficial. So the clearing discs are pretty fantastic, and you'll only need one. So you only need one anywhere in the house, plugged in or on the electrical panel, and it'll take care of an entire apartment building and even your neighbors that are connected to the same local transformer. Those green boxes that you usually see sitting in the yard, or else if they're up on the poles on your electrical lines, if it's not underground. Um, and then as far as working with cars, I usually suggest a tensor field generator in a car. Now, we have one on a limited run. It's called the heavy duty light field tensor field generator. That one is a pretty phenomenal one. It does harmonize electromagnetics, but it's more truly about amplifying your field, so your field is harmonizing any discordant energies. But if you would like the tool to completely and fully do it for you, then the 1.25 inch golden light generator. This little generator, man, I need to do a talk on it sometime because it is beyond the golden light. This thing has a heartbeat to it. I mean, this is quite a beautiful little critter. I mean, such an amazing feel and field from this. So this little 1.25 inch golden light generator, place it in the car anywhere. It has a 2.5 mile sphere of influence. So not only is it harmonizing everything within your electric car, but it's also working with everybody around you. And so, yeah, that's kind of the one, that I would suggest, unless you're really into shifting energies through your own beingness, than the light field energetic. Um, so yeah, the 1.25 inch golden light on the tensor field generator page. Samson, can you help me understand what is used to attach a copper harmonizer sphere to amplify the positive energy emanating from it? So, a lot of people that make harmonizers, the original Slim Sperling spherical tool, you know, he's never guided, nor have I ever felt to make a harmonizer ever. I even used to have one of Slim's jigs. We make the tensor field generators, the 4-ring spherical form, which is like on my microphone. Um, so Slim used to use a frequency, and when you audibly, it sounds terrible, but it is simply a frequency of a rain cloud. And so one of his buddies created this frequency of a rain cloud. They would play that in the harmonizer to amplify and send that out. Um, whatever sounds. So I mean, there's a lot with the harmonizers and playing sounds through them. But truly the tensor fields will amplify and broadcast sounds, frequencies, intentions. So if you take a spherical form, a tensor field generator, or a Gaia sphere with the 6 wires, and you just simply place your headphones inside of it or sit it on top of a speaker. We have a lot of audiophile people that use the tensor tools with sound because, I mean, the people that can see the color of sound, it changes it. I mean, we have a few people that are so sensitive that they can utilize the rings with music and it will amplify certain musicians and what they're playing. Yeah, great stuff, man. But just with, sorry, I'm going to get back here just to make sure I can answer your question correctly. Um, so to amplify the positive energy within it, it's basically when you put headphones inside of a tensor field generator and you play it, it just broadcasts that energy, that information throughout the whole field that the generator works in. So if you put it in like the agricultural harmonizer, which has a 12-mile sphere of influence, then you're broadcasting those sounds and frequencies for 12 miles. So yeah, other people that make harmonizers do all kinds of wild things. Like they'll put, like headphone jacks in orgonite in underneath of the harmonizers, things like that. But yeah, so any of the tools will amplify sound. Um, Awesome. Love wearing the jewelry, and I've never used any before, but they just feel so yummy. I'm very happy to hear that. Keep mine on the keychain. There are grid points in our cars. Yeah, the grid points, the quantum grid points were pretty fantastic for cars. I still haven't decided if we're bringing the quantum grid points back yet or not. I haven't had an opportunity to feel into, if it's a game I should perpetuate playing or not. Um, it's grids on one level are pretty magical, but I would like to see us all transcend even grids, you know, um, that everything is your energy and that it patterns, you know, energy serves your beliefs, your desires, your perspective of life, your mindset, and your consciousness. So that's kind of my big goal, is to allow the energy to serve all those parts and pieces of me with clarity, coherence, and in any way. And then you transcend the grids, you transcend all the things. Um, All right, sorry. I'm getting in too deep here again. Well, I'll just kind of hold back off on that. Will putting a ring on the computer do the same for sound and electric and Wi-Fi? So, um, yes and no. So, I mean, like on my laptop here, I have the Alchemist tab. I love the Alchemist tab. The the Tensor, sorry, the Wi-Fi tab, Wi-Fi tab, cell phone tab will work just fine with the phones. I mean, we have our biofeedback and everything with them. I don't know. I love the Alchemist tab. Um, but it's one that I have on my computer, on the laptop, on the screen. Now, when I have that Alchemist tab on the computer, it doesn't bug my hands when they're sitting on the computer, especially for a long time, 'cause on the laptop where your hands are right there. I don't notice that kind of electrical feeling and just that energy that you can feel when I didn't have the Alchemist tab on the laptop. But I still wouldn't put your laptop directly onto your lap. We used to make a laptop ring, a larger ring that you could set between the laptop and your lap so that you didn't have it directly there within your field. Mm, the laptop rings didn't work out. I mean, they're hard to use under computer and it slides around and all the things. We just have to figure out a different way to create a laptop ring. If you want to sit it on your lap. But again, yes, the answer to the question is yes. You can place a Wi-Fi ring, a disk, an Alchemist tab, a big ring around your computer. Would it absolutely be the best? Oops, I got a candle there. Um, and just simply the cell phone tab or the Alchemist tab is still going to help with your hands on the computer, but again, just not on your lap. That's something that you would want to get, like maybe a 15-inch tensor ring and sit it between your computer and you. Um, let's see. And I kind of got behind here on chat. So Sea Beach. Oh, Nika, can you explain that? So yeah, as far as like your Bluetooth and your Wi-Fi and all that, anytime that you would put any ring at all on your laptop or your computer, yeah, it'll clear the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth, and then again, it'll clear the main radiations from the computer. But again, it's like my Asus computer is so flippin' potent, that I like to have a laptop ring or a ring between me and my computer if I'm using it on my lap. Um, I have an extra tensor ring that I carry it in my pocket. Sometimes it ends up in the washer. Have I ruined it? Oh, not at all. You've just like totally, you could probably throw a ring in your washer instead of soap because I don't know. I played around with those different magnetic and energy devices in your washer to use instead of soap. That doesn't really work that well, but I've never tried just throwing a ring in it. But no, it totally will not harm your ring. We have a lifetime guarantee on the welds of the rings. We've had some that have even come back chopped up by lawnmowers, and we've done our best to repair them. But no, it won't hurt the energetics whatsoever of the tools, no matter what kind of physical environment you throw them through. And again, we have a lifetime guarantee on the welds. So if they ever break, we'll repair that for you. For 4 months, I've been making sacred and lost tensor rings and gifting them. Would you list the fraction length for each? I'm getting conflicting measurements from the sources. Oh man, William, I'm really sorry because our sacredmeasures.com website is down. I have not made the time to get it back up and repaired. So I don't know what those fractions are off the top of my head. I do know, like for the sacred and lost cubits, You can do them in quarters. So, I mean, you can do a half, a quarter, an eighth, a 16th, and that's the same going upwards. But usually we found when you go upwards, like a 1.5 and a 2 felt the best, not like a 1 and 1/16 or 1 1/4. It always felt like as you were going up. But that was our perception, 10, 12 years ago. Um, and so we always made it like 1.5 or 2s when we went up. But as long as you find a reliable source for what the main qubit is, then yeah, just divide it by half or quarter or eighth or 16th. Um, and there are some tensor rings ones on Facebook. I help manage the tensor ring or tensor tech, tensor ring, AccuVac Facebook page. And I know there is postings of all the different qubit measures that people use. Um, we hear a lot about the dangers of wireless headphones, earbuds. Is there any way to neutralize that danger? Yeah, don't believe it. Don't believe it is the way to neutralize that danger. Because truly, your earbuds don't put out a whole lot. For many years, people wanted us to make little ear curly-Q things, and we've tried all kinds of things over the years for earbuds, and we just keep looking at it, and we're like, it's not that bad. In true reality, if you are able to hold a coherent field, which just means that you're in the heart, you're grounded, you're connected, you're not scattered, and you're not all in fear and everything. When you can be in that space of peace and presence, you are untouchable by electromagnetics. It took a few years. I asked my sister Brenda a question once when she fully embodied, and I could hardly even speak because of being in the space with her. But the only question I could even feel to ask at the time was about EMFs. And what she told me in that space, I had to think about for a couple of years, in that EMFs are not inherently non-beneficial. They're not inherently dangerous, I should say. Everything is electromagnetic. Yes, your heart is a huge electromagnetic generator. It creates a field 6 feet across. And it is a very harmonious electromagnetic field. So what I would say is to give yourself and your body some credit for being the powerful electromagnetic, biological, spiritual thing that it is, and to allow it to harmonize. Because the thing is as soon as you fall into fear of earbuds, that is what is being created. And so it's just a deep breath and knowing that your field, your beautiful, coherent, powerful electromagnetic field will harmonize whatever comes in. So thank you for those that have made that declaration. I feel it. And so um, LS5, I hope that you take that to heart and to step into your power with it and not even worry about it anymore. Nika, I have the Alchemist Trio on a coaster for my drinks. Oh man, yeah. So I'm assuming that's the set of 3 water rings, that Alchemist Trio. Well, no, the Alchemist Trio that we used to create, which is still a fantastic set. I mean, that's what brought the wisdom energetics in, was that Alchemist Trio. In the new trio of water rings, it is, you can find that golden light, the wisdom, and the light field. And so soon we will soon have available, I know I've said this before, this set of 3 rings. we were playing around with it, playing with some that had infinities in the center, and they look cool, but they just we're gonna definitely stick with integrity and create the tools that are the easiest to access energetically and that bring the most profound results over something that looks cool. And so we're working at re-releasing the Alchemist set, and that will be in all the three new energies. So I would look for those here coming this next week. Um, Thoughts on making do-it-yourself cheap small tensor rings from electrical wire with fine copper hairs to cover, let's say, the water inlets of the house for sinks, reverse osmosis units. Is fine hair wire okay? No, it's not. You can use a single super small gauge wire, like we made the petals for like all of our sacred geometry pendants. Those ones were like in about a 20 gauge, 22 gauge, and that is a really fine wire. They're hard to weld. You need a single wire. You just can't take a cable of fine wires and make a tensor ring. It does not work that way. So, if you have a cable wrapped with fine wires, no, you cannot make a working tensor ring with that. I would suggest go to a local metal a medical. What's the name of those places? Like the places where you take junk cars to a metal reclamation and metal recyclers. When you go to a metal recyclers, usually the electrical companies, the electricians, everybody else takes nice, beautiful, shiny copper wire that you can buy by the pound and not by a wire price. For a few years, that's what we did at Twisted Sage. Was we prided ourselves on upcycling wire by going to the recycle centers, getting our wire, most of the time stripping the wire, and then making our tools. But no, we don't. We don't do that anymore. We try to we make things easy, so we get big spools of electrical wire. But if you're trying to go on the cheap, man, just go to a reclamation facility, get yourself some decent wire to make the tensor rings with. And when you make a ring with that really light gauge, it's not a huge tangible field either. I would go at least with a 12 gauge. A 10 gauge is still heavy, but decent enough to work with. I mean, still light enough to work with. The 10 gauge is what we make our water rings out of. The lowest gauge that we usually use in any of our tools is a 14 gauge, which is the size for our pendants, just because it is more tangible. And a 12 gauge is really a good one for water. 12 and 10 gauge are what we use. That's what Dancing with Water has talked about, their favorites for the water rings that we create for them. All right. Well, man, we made it farther than I thought today. I didn't think we were going to do anything here. So I'm going to run. I have a hot date tonight, so I must go get myself ready to be complete with the studio today. I have lots of work to do yet. Oh, Paulo, you made some email questions. Gosh, my apologies. I didn't even see them there this morning. I can respond to you in person for sure, or we can save them for the next 50 questions Friday. Have I heard of vinegar simmering? No, usually, like when we clean the tools, we suggest just dipping them in vinegar and not leaving them in there. So I told the story, I think last week, where somebody always put their clasp in the vinegar and let it sit overnight and then wear it the next day. And they sent it to us after several months, and it just totally ate away all the copper. There was hardly any wire left. So I'm not sure if that's what you meant by the vinegar simmering. but I do feel like I need to run. So much love, you guys. Thank you for the support as always. And yeah, man, feel into the new energies and truly be in the heart. Feel into it. Allow yourself to step into that deep peace and allow that into your world. Because man, does it change everything. So, for weather harmonizing. Yeah, no, about the only things that we do with weather is amplify consciousness because we truly see consciousness as what creates the weather. And so even like our rainmaker plate is an amplifier of your consciousness. And anything that works with consciousness, including that of the earth and the elementals, I feel is really kind of a core way to affect weather at the source of its creation versus trying to change what is created. All right. Much love, all of you guys. We'll see you next time. And thank you for being here. Appreciate you.